What up, everyone? This is Dr. Vic, and you're listening to another episode here on the Mindful Experiment. I hope you're having an amazing start to the new year, amazing start to February. Can't believe it's already here, February 8th. And let me double check. Yeah, it is. Crazy how fast time goes, isn't it? It's been a good year for me. Good year starting out, new adventures, new life, new pretty much everything. And there's to be honest, there's some scary moments with that, and there's some exciting, and it's like an up and down experience. And I haven't felt this way probably in like 11, 12 years. When I left school, finished up, and went back home to start a practice and start a whole new life. I had no idea what I was getting into. And now, about 11, 12 years later, starting the exact same thing, doing it all over again. So exciting times. Hope it's exciting for you. I hope you're really doing the risks, calculated risk to level yourself up, to enjoy and experience this whole thing called life, because it really is an experience. There's no one way. There's infinite ways. I always look at life like mathematics. I remember in calculus class, Arizona State. I'll never forget it. And I'm taking Calc 1, and man, this stuff was intense. I wasn't giving it enough time to really absorb and learn, but I did well. I got a B in the class. That was a success for me. But what was interesting is the professor would always look at me, and half the time I get the right answer, but I didn't do it the way he wanted. And he'd be like, "You didn't do it right. You didn't use the right formulas." I'm like, "But I got the right answer." And he'd be like, "Nah, you just luck." And then after like 3, 4, 5 times, I was like, "There's got to be something to this, because I'm figuring something out." And the whole point of that message is that that's kind of life. That's life in general, right? It's experimenting and trying to see what can work, what doesn't work. What works for you, because it's not going to work for everyone. And I've been very blessed being a chiropractor, because it showed me that through my career, my practice, to see how unique everyone is, and also to create plans in my practice that were unique and individual to the person, to meet their needs and help them, and then adjust along the way if need be. And I think that's the path to success. And the reason why I'm bringing all this up is because the topic today I wanted to talk about is, I've talked about it before so many times, the whole mindful experiment, the episode. If you've been a subscriber for a while, appreciate you so much for following the podcast and showing your support. If you're just new, check out the old episodes, DM me, send me a message, connect with me on social media. And if there's things you're looking for, I'd be more than happy to direct you to them. But it's one of the things where, what determines the difference? We have two individuals, and individual number A is super successful, multimillionaire, doing all these successful patterns, these routines, all these different things, right? And then here comes individual B. Individual B is a love of what the millionaire's lifestyle is, goes to the millionaire and says, "Hey, can you teach me how to become a millionaire? I don't want to be given a fish. I want to learn how to fish. So please, can you show me the way? What do I have to do?" The millionaire is all excited, loves helping people, says, "Let me show you the easiest formula." And he tells them what he's got to do in the morning days, or he or she, in the morning rituals, what they have to do every single day, how they have to focus, do all these, what the things they have to do, right? And so the individual's like, awesome, so excited, goes to town, be's 100% consistent, gives it his all in 1 year, comes back, sees the millionaire. Millionaire goes, "How are you doing?" And the guy goes, "It didn't work. I didn't get there. I barely saw some growth." And millionaire says, like most people will say, coaches and programs, they say, just keep doing, right? Just keep doing the work. Don't worry about it. You'll get there. Just keep doing the work. And the guy goes back to doing the work, just keeps doing the same thing, just keeps focusing on the doing, and that's it. Comes back a year later, same thing. Didn't grow much, or not to the level he was expecting. And the millionaire say, "You just got to keep going. You got to keep grinding. It's eventually going to happen," right? And the individual, after 2 years, starts to get depressed, starts saying this maybe not be working, continues to grind, continues to do the hustle, and still 3 years in, nothing. And goes back to the millionaire, and he says, "Sorry, this is just," and the millionaire asked him again, "How's it going?" He said, "It's not working. I'm not getting there." And the millionaire said, "You just got to think that it's going to work and keep doing the work." And that's it. And that was the advice, just continually to do. And I'm sharing this story because this was me when I first got into chiropractic school, learning from a lot of the people in chiropractic who help you level up in many ways, business and life and so forth. And I kept hitting walls, and it wasn't them. Sometimes they were giving me really good sound advice. And it did work, because later on, when I figured something else out, I used that advice, and then all of a sudden I saw this massive growth, and it was amazing. But we can do things and do all the time. But if we never focus on the mind and go from there first, we miss the ball. We miss the game. We miss everything about it. It's one of those things where, because the thing is this, if you're it's about who's in the driver's seat, right? Because the doing is just saying, hey, go here, do this, make left, make right, and so forth. But it's the mindset's kind of the driver, and how they're going to approach that. Are they going to, are they in alignment to achieve those things? And so when you look at this, your mindset's going to be the dictator to tell you how you're going to do things and where you're going to go. Because if you don't clear the mind and get it focused on vision, get it focused on the projectives of where you're trying to go, have clarity with it all, then your GPS is not working well. And you're going to be putting all this effort in. Instead of going east, you're going to go west, and you're going to do all this work and never get to where you want to go. Maybe somehow in a roundabout you'll get there. But it's one of the things of all that work, instead of being crystal clear with your energy, centering your vibe and keep your mind clear. You see, because your mind really is like an antenna, and it really sends out a vibe to let the universe know where you're at. And so then the universe can provide back to you the experience of what you're putting out there. Because there's a law to this. This is what you put out is going to come back in you. Some people call it law of cause and effect. Some people call it the law of karma. Whatever it may be, whatever you put out is what you're getting back. And that's it, whatever that is. And that means from a vibrational standpoint. So some people say, what do you mean by vibration? What do you mean by frequency? Well, your emotions are what generate the energy to it all, but your mindset is what sets the tone of it, what sets the frequency, and then the emotions amplify it. And so when that happens, that creates more magnetic attraction. So you can attract and align to what it is that you'll desire. Because the truth is, if you do not get your mind into the specific tone, you will never experience that. There's a certain, whatever you're experiencing in your life is the accumulation of choices and thoughts and vibrations that you've been putting out to the universe. That's pretty much where you're at right now. And you can change that and shift that at any given time or place. Because then what happens is like that millionaire, what the millionaire wasn't being able to express, it was as the millionaire mindset, the millionaire consciousness, right? Because that's more important than the doing. I'm not saying the doing, you have to do the doing, right? It's like, I read a quote, some people were saying, David could have prayed all day long from the David and the Goliath story. He could have prayed all day long to beating Goliath, but eventually he had to get up, pick the stone, and throw it at him, right? But what I like about the story and what I like about that analogy is this, is that when you look at the whole entire alignment of that process, the beingness was being a warrior who can plan things out, do the practice, right? What does that look like? What is that beingness? What is that life? It's an energy. It's an imprint of what that has to be. And then when it came time, he did the doing, and it was easy in that sense. There wasn't as much work. It's called the law of least effort. What's the least amount of work to get the greatest gain? And so when you start looking at your life, now this can be in any arena. You can apply this to anything. This is what I love about these. I like laws and working with them that apply across the board, because what you do in one area of your life, you're going to do in others. And so if I can find a law that plays in every aspect, this makes my life a lot easier. So you can do this in relationships. You can do this with money. You can do this in your career, your business. You can do this with your health. You can do this in your mindset, challenging itself. You can do it in your missions and your purpose and your legacy in life, and so much more. These are things that you continually can do and you can continually work on to evolve, expand, and grow. So that's one of the aspects of understanding. If you get anything out of today, is that it doesn't matter what you do. Sometimes there's just, you're forcing it from a physical aspect to get to a certain place. The path of most resistance, that's where you have to do all this work, all this sweat equity, all this stuff. Or you can shift your gears. You're still going to do the work. You still have to work. You still have to do the doing. But just get your centeredness and focus on where you want to go. The way I like to explain, I'll leave you guys one more analogy, is this, is that when I want you to think of life and anything that you do is like cooking. Cooking is probably one of the best analogies for me to express and explain. It resonates most with me. Yes, I love cooking. It's something that I love to do. It's my art. It's something I just enjoy. I love having healthy meals, and I cook at least 2 to 3 times a day, fresh, scratch, all that good stuff. But cooking is really great, because when you're going to make a nice meal and you're going to really go all out with a meal, I want you to think of the beingness is the preparation. That is the most work. The most work in anything in cooking is, unless you're smoking, some brisket or something like that, where it takes 12, 14, 16, 18 hours, whatever that is. Most of the time the preparation is going to be the longest part. And you're doing all this stuff. You're preparing everything, getting everything ready to go before you start to cook it. And so it's that beingness. It's just being centered, being focused, right? Because when you're centered, focused, and you're being the person you need to be, the law of least effort comes in and says, okay, what's the least amount of work to cook this food? That's the doing. That's the action take, right? And then the have, the reward, the reaping of your harvest is when the food's all done and you're ready to eat. That is the have. And so if we can focus there, and I've done many podcasts on this before, but too many times we want to have the cooked meal. So then we can feel like we're this, and then we can be this person. But we got to flip that around. And so when you look at your life, when you're doing and working on things, understand that your beingness is what's most important. That takes the most preparation. It takes the most work. What does it look like? What does it feel like? Things like that. And then from there, what you end up doing is now you can start to focus on the doing, which is the work, and how to do the work and the applications of the work. And what does that look like? What does that feel like? And then from there, you can have what it is you'd enjoy. Okay. That determines the difference between someone who's a millionaire and someone who isn't. It's all their mindset and where they're focused at. And so that's kind of what I got for you guys today. And if you're an entrepreneur or even a chiropractor listening and you want to master this and learn how to be this way and help to double your profits and double your life, triple your life, 5x your life, 10x your life, doesn't matter. It's what you want to do. These are things that I work on with coaching clients. And I coach one-on-one for this. So if this is something that interests you and you're like, man, I would love to do this. I love this concept. I want to do more of this. Look in the show notes below and there's a link at the bottom you can click on, put your information in there and I'll reach out to you. But appreciate you tuning in. If this is your first time listening, please, please, please subscribe. If you're listening to this on YouTube, please subscribe, click that bell, make sure you get notifications on every video I post. And as always, I appreciate you guys tuning in, as always, and I will talk to you guys all next week. Make it a blessed week.